So I think I'm gonna get back into Yu-Gi-Oh! So last week, it was a really fun one. We only lost one match. It was against Burning Abyss, piloted by a really good player, and we also got to see a modern Blue Eyes deck, which was just wildly nostalgic. Now at this point, we've entered into 3 different tournaments. We got 2nd place in 2 of them, we got 3rd place in the other, and while that's all fantastic, I still want 1st. So we're going to continue iterating on the deck, and we're going to do so with what came in these. So we just received 2 Infinite Impermanences, and now we have an out to Vanity's Fiend. We also traded for a 3rd copy last week, which means we have a playset. As for what I'm taking out, I've actually already figured that out. So I'm removing my 2nd Solid Soldier, my 3rd Call by the Grave, and a 2nd Super Poly. I feel like people are learning to play around the Super Poly, and 2 darts are rarely left on the board. I still love Call by the Grave, but 3 has led to some pretty bad brips. As for the other package we received, it's essentially a bunch of extra deck cards for our eventual Pendulum deck. So, in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I do intend on having a deck profile up for that Pendulum deck. However, right now, I'm going to hop back onto YouTube, catch up with some of my favorite Yu-Gi tubers, and try to learn a thing or two.
So no blood.
Hey there, happy, I suppose for you, belated Halloween. It is Halloween here, and it is one of my favorite holidays, but that isn't the only exciting thing about the day. We have this new package, which in it has not an Evil Hero Malicious Bane. It is going to become a meme of the channel that we do not have one, but you know what, it's in the mail. It's supposedly in the mail. What we do have here is 2 Twin Twisters, which I am going to incorporate in the deck. A lot of you in the comments have been suggesting this, and I think it's a great idea, so we're going to work it in, then we'll throw the deck list up on the screen right here so you can see. And now, let's try it out over on Dueling Book. Guys, I have some incredible news to share with you right now. The channel, the videos, they are blowing up. Apparently, Farfa, the guy we were actually just watching the YCS vlog of, he watched my initial video on his stream, he tweeted it out, he left a really sweet comment, and things are just happening now. Since then, Cimoooo, Dzeeff, House of Champs, Twiz, all of these different people who I've been learning from, who I've been just soaking in information from, are commenting, are leaving really sweet messages, and I cannot believe what you guys did. One of you must have sent that to Farfa, the rest of you got this out in the algorithm, and now, because of you, because of the conversations you had, because of the comments you left, because of the shares you did, this is a real channel. We went from 0 to thousands of subscribers in a week's time because of you, because of what you did, and wow, I cannot believe. I don't normally like to record video when I don't feel fully composed, when I feel, you know, very emotional, because I think it's a very vulnerable thing to do, but this was special. This was something that I needed to get on camera. I needed for you to see, because this is a pivotal moment in our channel's history, and I'd like to say a big thank you to you for just making this happen. With that said, I definitely want to gain some composure before I respond to all of the comments, which is actually quite lucky because I believe my partner is going to be home in the next 5 to 10 minutes, and we have some pretty exciting plans for the night. You know, I'm normally not a junk food guy, but there's something about Halloween that just says, you know, eat some good food, have some fun, relax, get cozy, and just enjoy the holiday. So that's what we did. today we are preparing for tomorrow, which is our tournament, and it's worth noting, Bane is still yet to arrive. I've accepted that Monday or Tuesday I'm going to order another copy provided it doesn't come in, and I'm okay with that because I actually really love our deck right now. I think the addition of the 3 infinite impermanences are going to make a massive difference. We didn't talk about it earlier, but I also threw in an Ash Blossom thanks to your recommendations, and I'm excited. I'm really excited. Hey guys, happy Saturday, happy tournament day. I am here today, I'm here in this clip to tell you that last night I got about 5 hours of sleep and I woke up with a headache. Now, I don't normally get headaches. I don't know why today was the day that my body was like, here you go, but it did. So, with that said, I'd like to note that I know my body, I know my mind, and I know when I'm in a state like this, I do have issues kind of stringing together longer ideas, larger combos, and I don't perform as well as I'd like to, and I'm not totally expecting to do as well as I normally do. Be very happy with 3rd or 4th place today, to be honest. But I think that there are 2 messages that should come out of this clip. 1, get your sleep before your tournaments. It does matter. It does have a big effect on your gameplay. And 2, not all about winning. Honestly, I think that a big part of this series is about going and just creating that community, making friends, enjoying the game. I think at the heart of it, Yu-Gi-Oh! Isn't and shouldn't be about winning or losing. I think it's about having fun. If you're having fun, then you're winning in my book. And I know that sounds cheesy, but that's how I feel. So today, the goal is to go, have a good time, see my friends, pick up a thing or 2, and just, you know, enjoy. We're also building something for Mario at the end of the day, and that's pretty exciting. So I will see you there, and let's get into it. Almost forgot.
Really?
Yeah. Our first match of the day was against a pretty humorous fellow named Blake, and he played dinos. I drew into a pretty good hand, but due to a lack of sleep, I ended my first turn with a single Cross Crusader. Yes, you heard that correctly, and yes, I do consider this the single greatest misplay I've made since returning to Yu-Gi-Oh! I think in this scenario, a lot of players would get really frustrated, would get mad at themselves, but quite honestly, it was really funny. I think everybody involved just got a good laugh out of it, and I think that's just fine. Blake had no issue outing my board with a big boy dino and a Shaddoll fusion. He pretty simply took the first game. I opened with a decent hand game too and spent significantly longer thinking about my first play. I didn't want to end up with a single Cross Crusader yet again, so I hero-lived out a Stratos, searched a Ferris, got a Vion on board, which allowed me to put a Mali in grave. From there, I could confidently go into my Cross Crusader and continue building my board. I ended my turn with a proper first turn finish of Plasma and Darklaw. Unfortunately, Darklaw's hand banishing effect removed a dinosaur that actually special summons itself when it is banished, and he was able to run over my monsters. The game went back and forth, but in the end, time was called, and I actually had slightly more life points. So, our first match ended in a draw, and this outcome, well, it was actually significantly better than what I had expected after our first misplay. Honestly, I felt pretty bad for Blake here. We only went into time because I know it was just taking me a really long time to put together my plays, my combos, and all of that. And he was so gracious about it in the end. He was just really kind, and I need to note yet another really good member of our community. Our second match was against Gareth piloting Cyber Dragons, and you may recognize this deck because I actually lost to it in the finals of the second tournament. I was excited. Cyber Dragons are an incredibly nostalgic archetype, and Gareth, he creates a really relaxed atmosphere, which I always appreciate. As you can see, he had a pretty lively first turn and ended on Infinity. I began by attempting to activate a Destiny Fusion, which he negated. From there, I essentially decided to go all in. I made Trinity, searched Honest Neos, and took the first game. I didn't have anything to side against him, but opened pretty strong with a Plasma and Dark Law in our second match, but unfortunately, he did have Super Poly, and we found ourselves just kind of grinding it out. In the end, time was called. However, this time, he actually had more life points, so he took the round, we tied the match, and I have to say, this was by far the best we had done against him and that Cyber Dragon deck the first time we played. It was actually my second tournament. I came in second to him. He won 2-0. But now, for the first time, we were actually able to take a game, and I feel like I'm starting to understand the deck, so I feel like we're making progress. Our third match was against Blue Eyes, and Twin Twister really came in clutch, outing his compulsory evacuation device. From there, I felt safe to go off, knowing he couldn't honest his face-down monster, and thanks to piercing, we did take a quick game 1. I sided multiple DD Crows, some backer removal, and luckily, we drew into both options. As opposed to making Dark Law or Plasma, like I generally do on my first turns, I decided to end on a card that I felt was disposable, and that I felt didn't require many resources to create. Essentially here, I didn't want to make my general first turn board of Plasma and Dark Law because I knew that neither of which had a big effect on his deck, and I wanted to save my resources in my deck for going off in the next turn and trying to OTK him. I ended up with the 1900 on the board just because I felt like it was a card that would essentially help me not get OTK'd and again not require a lot of resources. It was something I could do without in the following turn. I recognize this is kind of a strange play to make, but I think it was the right play. So, he summoned a Blue Eyes, a Synchro, and went in for some big damage. Luckily, I lived the turn and was able to make my combos with the cards I saved in my hands from the previous turn. I wasn't able to end the game right there and then, but he couldn't come back from our board, and we took the match 2-0. So, now we have 2 ties and a win. It doesn't look promising for us to make top 4 at this point, but things are actually going pretty well. I mean, previously we weren't able to take a game off Cyber Dragons, but today we did, and we also didn't lose a round to Blue Eyes like we had the week prior. So, as a whole, I'm pretty happy. Our final match was against Carter and his Pendulums. Carter and I actually played the previous week, and I won 2-0. However, he had just put the deck together before that tournament, and I knew it would be significantly harder going forward. Spoilers, I was right. I didn't draw a great opening hand, but I was able to make Plasma and fetch an Honest Neos. This honestly isn't a bad board at all against Pendulums, and I was feeling pretty confident. He responded by using Chronograph Sorcerer to special summon a Time Gazer and attempted to create a scale with 2 Endymion cards, which I Twin Twistered. He then tributed for a Jackal and swung into Plasma. Luckily, I did have that Neos. I did some damage on the following turn, but he Pendulum summoned everything back, and we just didn't have the resources to out that board. This match made it quite evident just how important it is to open with Dark Law against Pendulum. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to grab a mask change in my first turn and ended with a Plasma. He made a pretty big board, but in his battle phase, I super polyed his monsters and he essentially conceded. That card is insane. So far, I would call this match absolutely fantastic. Am I making misplays? Yes. However, I feel like we're both building some pretty big boards and just having fun enjoying modern Yu-Gi-Oh! So we had 6 minutes left on the clock and we had a chance. However, admittedly, combo decks can get quite confusing and take quite some time to figure out. So while Carter was building his first turn board, time did run out, and a ruling I actually wasn't aware of, he was still allowed to finish his phase. So he made Cowboy and burned me for a 2-1 victory. So I actually didn't get to play my third round, however, I do get it. I know combo decks can take their time, and had we drawn an Nibiru or an Infinite Impermanence, well, then we could have actually ended on a tie. So, with a win, a loss, and 2 draws, we actually didn't make top 4 for the first time since returning to the game, but honestly, that's quite alright. As I noted, I think even before the tournament began, I didn't expect to do all that well here. I felt like the deck was significantly better, but I felt like my ability to just kind of put together plays was severely lacking. However, ending early, it really wasn't such a bad thing because Mario and I, we had something to do. As noted in the last episode, Mario just started building this shop about a month and a half ago, and he's now endeavoring into hosting Smash Brothers tournaments. So, we went to work on a brand new TV stand. I did get a number of questions about the shop location in the last episode, but Mario wants me to hold off until the proper grand opening at the start of the year. So, that is coming, we just have some building to do first. So, in the end, we didn't top, but you know what we did do? We had a lot of fun, we saw our friends, and I also feel like I saw a glaring issue in the deck, which we will remedy next week. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you tune into that. And I'd like to say a big thank you to you for becoming a part of the community, for watching. This channel exploded over the last 3 weeks. It is only 3 weeks old. We have 7,000 subscribers. And that happened, again, because of you. Because you subscribed, because you shared the videos, you liked, you left comments, you had a conversation. All of that means so much to a new channel. And you made this what it is, and I am incredibly grateful. So thank you for doing what you did. Continue to like, continue to leave comments. I feel like I actually learned a lot from all of you in your comments over the last video, and I'd love to continue learning more. I'd love to continue having a conversation. So thank you for getting us this far. I fully intend to put all of my effort into making this absolutely incredible and giving you guys fantastic, incredibly high quality content every single week. So thank you for joining in. I will see you next week with a brand new episode of Returning to Yu-Gi-Oh! Episode 4. And thank you. Thank you for joining the journey.